Government, Elections, and Pensions to order. Alex, would you please take the roll?
Henderson,
Here.
Berger,
With a quorum being established, we're going to go ahead because it gets tough this time of year to keep people in here, so we're going to go ahead and go to executive session. I know we have some absent, but I'm afraid we'll have more absent late in session, so we'll go with that. So I make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? And the ayes have it. The first bill for executive session today is Senate Bill 1255. I move that we take up Senate Bill 1255. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. This is Senator Nicola's bill dealing with food trucks. Senator Nicola, is there anything else you would like to say about the bill?
No, pretty straightforward, just affects Jackson County.
I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1255 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Alex, please call the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
And you have do passed Senate Bill 1255 4-1. Next up for today, we have Senate Bill 1286. I move that we take up Senate Bill 1286. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. This is the bill Senator Brown presented last week dealing with fast-tracking the permitting process. Per the sponsor, the sub addresses the issues that the municipalities have. I kind of want to go through what those are. He moved it from 30 to 60 days, and he made it for single-family residences. And I think of the differences that everybody had, I think he worked out. So we do have a committee substitute ending in 02C, and I move that we adopt the substitute. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting the substitute, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1286 with Senate Committee substitute out of committee do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? And Senator Crawford, just to help you where we're at here, we're on Senate Bill 1286, Senator Brown's bill. We had a substitute, and you probably have looked at that took it to 60 days in a single-family residence. I think the municipalities, they worked everything out with them. So does that help you?
it does very much, thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, Alex, please call the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
By your vote of 5 yes and 1 present, you have do pass Senate Bill 1286. I now move we bring Senate Bill 1344 up. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And the ayes have it. This is Senator Coleman's bill dealing with Jefferson County. It allows Jeffco to have a boundary commission like St. Louis does. Any discussion? Seeing none, I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1344 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? I think I did that early. Seeing none. Alex, please call the roll.
Henderson,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Beck, Black, Bratton, Crawford, Nicola, Nurnberg, 6-0.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 1344. I now move that we take up Senate Bill 1466. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And the ayes have it. This is Senator Berger's bill regarding a Veterans Memorial Museum in Perry County. Senator Berger, do you have anything you would like to say about the bill?
No, I don't.
Okay. I now move that we vote Senate Bill 1466 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Alex, please call the roll.
Henderson.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Beck. Black. Bratton. Crawford. Nicola. Nurnberg.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 1466. And that finishes executive session. With no more bills to exec, I move we move out of executive session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. We will now go to, we have 3 bills today. And the first one that we have up is Representative Vernetti dealing with Osage Beach and Chesterfield Entertainment Districts, House Bill 2057. Representative, please begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Jeff Vernetti, District 123, representing Camden County, home of the Lake of the Ozarks. This bill, as you said, would allow a entertainment zone or district to be created in Osage Beach inside Camden County and also the city of Chesterfield. In Osage Beach, this would be used in a couple of different sites where they've got over $1 billion of development coming to the lake. One, the Oasis Amusement Park and Hotel, and 2, the renovation of the old outlet mall that's going to be home to a Bass Pro. This bill on the Osage Beach side will sound familiar because it actually was passed last year. We're here for a technical fix to a bill that accidentally left Osage Beach out of the drafting process. So I know this doesn't happen often, but I'll give a real quick explanation for lack of time. I know you guys were busy today with the other 2 bills. On the House side, we passed a version of this last year, had 129 yes votes to 23 no's that included Osage Beach in the language. It came over to the Senate and was held up, but then was amended to House Bill 199, which became the big political subdivision bill last year carried by Senator Gregory. In that process, when they were grabbing language, they grabbed the wrong population size for Osage Beach. So everything else in the bill passed 134 to 16, but Osage Beach got left out. Unfortunately, no one discovered the error until after the governor signed it. So these districts and zones, they basically are exactly like we do in Power Light in Kansas City. The Lake of the Ozarks has one for the Bagnell Dam Strip, Union Station, Ballpark Village in St. Louis, pretty common practice. So really this is just a technical fix to a bill that passed last year. The only other companion bill this year that was also going for an entertainment district was the city of Chesterfield. So we amended that into our bill in the committee process. My understanding, too, living in St. Louis for quite a while, they want to use it, the city of Chesterfield would like to use it in 2 different areas. One would be in an area they're calling the district, which actually has the factory concert venue and some others. It's one of their 2 outlet malls that they had. This was in the failed one, and now they're revitalizing that whole area there in Chesterfield Valley. The second would be in an area called downtown Chesterfield, which would be on the site and the footprint of the old Chesterfield Mall, which now has mostly been demolished, and they're putting housing and entertainment and other things that the city is working through. So Chesterfield was added to it. And obviously, this bill, not being controversial, it passed through Commerce and Rules unanimously, and it passed through the House 137 to 10. I do have witnesses here if anyone feels like they need to discuss anything with either city, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions for the witness? Seeing none. So you must have done a great job.
Obviously, thank you.
The first person to testify in support, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Kathy Harness, I filled out my witness form. I'm here today on behalf of TSG Properties. They're a developer in the Chesterfield area. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you. Next person to testify in support, please come forward.
Thank you, Senators. Members of the committee, my name is Jeff Abusi. I'm here representing Lakeport Development for the second year in a row to try to get this bill passed, but we thank you for your time. I'll be glad to answer any questions. We're here to testify in favor, and I have a witness form presented here.
Any questions for this witness? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else in support? Anybody in opposition? Anybody for informational purposes only? Seeing none, you have anything in closing?
No, thank you. Thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
That will conclude our hearing on House Bill 2057. Next up is House Bill 2125, Representative Banderman. When you're ready, please begin.
Thank you. My name is Brad Banderman. I'm the state representative for District 119. I represent the central part of Franklin County, and I'm here to present House Bill number 2125. Appreciate the opportunity to sit in front of this committee today and present my bill. Thank you for the chair from District number 3, the vice chair from number 27, and the senator from the 1st ranking member for hearing my bill today. So this bill has 3 parts of it. I'm going to spend the majority of my time speaking just on one of those parts because you've heard the other 2 parts in committee already. But the first part of the bill deals with a information sharing process that's currently underway in a memorandum of understanding from the Department of Motor Vehicles towards the Secretary of State's office in their effort to verify voter registration process. There's about 100,000 registrations that took place last year through the DMV process, and only about 12,000 others, whether electronically or postcard. So the information sharing is important. It's currently ongoing, but this would include the citizenship documents that are shared within the DMV within state statute moving forward. It's already being done. This just simply puts it in state statute. I think this is important information no matter who the Secretary of State is on verifying data for voter registration. The second part deals with the subpoena power that was sunsetted last year. I'm going to refrain from talking about that just right now and deal with the last part you've already heard about, which is the tech fee. The tech fee will sunset soon. It's been extended every couple of years since 1994. This fee is collected on different business filings, fictitious business names, things like that. This fee is used by the Secretary of State's office to keep their technology up to date. The fee's been in place for a long time, over 30 years. This is just simply an extension of that sunset. I'd like to use the rest of my time in front of the committee to talk about the subpoena power, the process. This power was given to the Secretary of State's office about 5 years ago under the previous administration of the Secretary of State's office, Secretary Ashcroft. It has been utilized 2 times since it was placed into statute, once under the previous administration and once under the current Secretary Hoskins. Both of these alleged violations, election violations, dealt with the improper use or the potential improper use of public funds to either support or oppose a ballot initiative. The first one that was utilized, a subpoena was utilized under the previous administration. That accusation was made against a school. That process played out, and there was not probable cause issued out of that process. The investigation took place. A subpoena was issued. Through that information gathering process, the Secretary of State's office determined there wasn't an election violation. The one more recently dealt with the same type of issue. That was using public funds to support or oppose a ballot initiative. That particular situation, the investigation played out, the subpoenas were issued, and that is currently being adjudicated. I've not used the names of both of those parties on purpose. That's public information, but one of those cases is ongoing, and I certainly don't want to cast aspersions to someone that is in the middle of an adjudication process that they might be found not guilty. I'd like to use just a few moments to tell you about how this process plays out within the Secretary of State's office. There is a complaint intake that happens, and I'm sure they receive quite a few complaints. After the complaint is taken in by the Secretary of State's office, there is a preliminary investigation. That investigation has a really important purpose, It is a review process for jurisdiction on whether the allegations, if true, would constitute a violation within the Secretary of State's authority, their election authority. If the Secretary of State's office, after a preliminary review, finds that there was a potential election violation under their authority, an investigation pursues. If warranted, an investigation initiated could also include a subpoena to gather information. Because that violation is within the Secretary of State's office jurisdiction, the only way that they can gather information is if they can get the information. This subpoena power that was given to the Secretary of State's office is used in that initial investigation process after the complaint is reviewed. The fourth part is a determination of findings. Once they receive the information, they go through a process internally where they have a determination of findings. If probable cause is established, a probable cause statement is prepped and it's moved forward to the prosecuting attorney for further legal action. If probable cause is not established through this process, they notify the party and let them know that their findings were that an election violation did not take place. This process is very robust. There's a lot of guardrails in place within state statute of this subpoena power on both the information and the scope of this type of an investigation. It has to fall within the jurisdiction of the Secretary of State's office. It has to be a viable violation, and it has to proceed through the process of information gathering and then potentially a probable cause statement being issued. Even if that's issued, even if a probable cause is issued out of the Secretary of State's office, that prosecuting attorney has to decide to take the case. This has been in place now for about 5 years. It's been utilized twice. I want to make sure that the Secretary of State, no matter who may hold that office from this day forward, will have the potential to get the information that they need in order to find out if an election violation that is under their jurisdiction needs to be investigated and moved forward to prosecution. With that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions for the witness? Senator Berger.
Thank you for your presentation, Representative. The fiscal note, why is that all it has to do with the fees?
Yes, the fiscal note is kind of actually a little bit backwards.
Okay.
It's presenting the information as if the fee went away, this is what would be the cost to maintain that technology if we had to do it through general revenue instead of a fee.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Other questions? Seeing none. First person to testify in support, please come forward.
Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Amanda Bell with Secretary of State. I think the sponsor actually did a great job explaining the bill, especially the subpoena power part that you guys had not heard yet this year. I'm really here to just take any questions that you guys might have.
Any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you. Next person to testify in support. Seeing none. Anybody to testify in opposition, please come forward. You have a witness form?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kay Park, and I'm here representing the League of Women Voters of Missouri. And we are in firm opposition to this. This bill requires the Secretary of State and the Director of the Department of Revenue to match information in the voter registration database with the motor vehicle system for the purpose of removing voters who are not citizens. This is flawed for several reasons. One is it will disenfranchise the rights of citizens to vote, since the Department of Transportation records are not updated when citizens are naturalized or when there are other errors in the records. Secondly, and most importantly, there's no credible evidence of systematic voter fraud. In fact, non-citizens are highly unlikely to register to vote because of the penalty of deportation. The Brookings Institute analyzed and contested the 2020 races, including Arizona, Georgia, and the larger Heritage Foundation database. There were just 4 individual cases of election fraud in Arizona and none in Georgia. So this is more likely to disenfranchise more people than it's likely to catch who are in fraud. The purpose of this bill and others that restrict voting rights and enforce redistricting and accusations of fraud is not to protect the ballot from fraud, but to disenfranchise the voters of American citizens to steer the election to maintain the party in power. That is not democracy. Please do the right thing and oppose HB 2125. Please protect the rights of the people to vote. Thank you for listening to my testimony.
Questions from the committee? Seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else to testify in opposition? Seeing none. Anybody to testify for informational purposes only? Seeing none. Representative.
Just want to thank the committee once again for an opportunity to present the bill, and I think all three of these areas are very important for our Secretary of State. The extension of the sunset on the fee, the continual sharing of the information that's already currently being shared within the Department of Motor Vehicles and our Secretary of State's office, and the ability for the Secretary of State's office to gather the information that they need to investigate a potential election violation that sets under their authority. Once again, thank you, Senator.
Okay, that will conclude our hearing on House Bill 2125. And next up is Representative Murphy with House Bill 1788. Representative Murphy, it's your month, isn't it?
Thank you, Senator. I'm Representative Jim Murphy from South St. Louis County, here to present House Bill 1788. House Bill 1788 came about in December of last year when a news article appeared where a Missouri legislator had solicited funds in a multi-state area and was in the solicitation, had never even mentioned his name, never mentioned what he was running for or anything. And in the solicitation, it asked for a small $20 contribution. But what the people didn't understand is when they sent that $20 in, they were agreeing to an ongoing contribution on a weekly basis of $20. In November, the Missouri Independent did an article on it and talked about a veteran in Iowa who had been charged over $1,200, never even knew the individual that he was supporting, and the election had already happened. But at the end of the election, they just simply moved it over to a committee that he was running for, a totally different position. I found that to be totally disingenuous. I found it was not only embarrassing for, well, I found it to be appalling, because not only did it reflect on him, but it reflected on all of us. You know, everybody now thinks that politicians are corrupt. This kind of leads into that narrative, and I thought something needed to be done about it. House Bill 1788 does three different things. It says that all solicitations that go to the public cannot have an automatic opt-in to a recurring contribution. It can have a recurring contribution, but it has to be an opt-in, not an automatic. You don't have to opt out. In the case that I was talking about, it was an automatic opt-in. You had to physically opt out in order to do it. Second thing it did is the individual that we talked about in that article tried desperately to get off the list, but there was such unclear and unwielding ways of doing it, it took him months and months and months to get off. So the bill outlines that you have to have a clear opt-out that has to happen quickly. Secondly, it says that when the election actually happens, the contributions end. Now that's true for elections. It's not true for organizations. If you want to give to St. Jude's Hospital on a recurring basis, that can go on forever because there's never an election. But if it's for a candidate or for a cause that there's an election, the day that election is over, so is your obligation to pay. And third, it says that you must, in your solicitation, state who is going to benefit from it. Now, there's two parts to that. Obviously, you don't want to say conservative causes. If you're great on conservative causes or liberal causes, contribute to this cause. That won't work. You have to say who's going to benefit. So if it's a candidate, the candidate's name and what they're running for has to be on the solicitation. Secondly, in the case that this happened, there was a service that was doing this. They sell the mailing list, and in return, they keep about 60% of what goes in. So that has to be clear in the solicitation, that who is going to benefit from the funds that are collected. It's a truth in campaign bill. It's something I think is absolutely necessary, and with that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions for the representative? Senator Berger.
Thank you for bringing this forward. I agree with you. It cast a bad light for all of us that are considered politicians. But the $1,200 the guy had donated, was that to this person also?
Was it what?
Was the $1,200 donated to this campaign also?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so
Yeah.
that was part of this one. So that just switched from one campaign to the next campaign?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to say, Representative, I think basically what I would do is call this a transparency bill. If you're going to raise money on there, you have to be transparent so people know exactly what they're doing. Isn't that pretty much what you're doing?
It's truth in advertising. It really is. There's nothing more to it than that. And it's something we need and should have. It's a shame it ever happened, frankly.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Anybody to testify in support? Seeing none. Anybody in opposition? Seeing none. Anybody for informational purposes only? Anything to finish?
If there's anything we should ever do, we should be honest with our voters, and I think this bill does that. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Representative. And with that, all business being done, we adjourn. Oh, I make a motion that we adjourn. I need a second. Got a second? We're adjourned.